What's going on, Beard Army? It's Greg. I'm back with that beard energy. Got my guy Berserker back here. He's just kind of chilling. Today, we're going to talk about my PSA submissions, talk a little bit about PSA and the other companies. It's not going to be crazy in depth, but if you have additional questions or other things you want to make a video on, just leave it down in the comments. Before we get into it, thank you guys for all the support. Again, we're over 800 subscribers, trying to push to 1,000 by April now. If you can, it really would help me in the algorithm if you go ahead and like the video, put a comment down below, anything you want to talk about, or if you have any questions, let me know. But all those interactions help me in growing the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and join the Beard Army, smash that subscribe button, and help us grow to 1,000. So like I said, this video is kind of long overdue, something I should have done back in early January, but I'm going to go over my PSA submissions so I can get them out this week. Now, when it comes to grading cards, really it's kind of what helps maintain the value of your collection. The reason why is you get it graded, you can see exactly what the card is in terms of value. It's sealed into a case, and then you can let it sit. Unlike if you keep a loose card in your collection, there's definitely many opportunities for some damage there and other things to happen. So if you're asking the question, why do I want to get my card graded? You're looking to preserve the value, you're looking to get an accurate value, and that way you have some idea of what you have in your possession. For me, I'm looking to be able to have these cards secured, know exactly what condition they're in at the time, and keep them stored in that condition. Now, in terms of value, that's really driven by the market. Right now, people are saying we're in a Pokemon bubble, and I believe there's some truth to that. It is probably going to burst at some point, but I do believe it's going to stick around for probably at least a year, especially with the momentum that Logan Paul is going to build up again, and the fact that it's still going to take a while to recover from the pandemic, so people are still home. And you also have the influx of money coming from possible stimulus packages, things like that. But as time goes on and people do start to lose interest again, you're going to see it dwindle down a bit. But Pokemon, I don't believe is going anywhere. It's a tried and true brand, and it will probably continue on for quite some time, especially as they continue to evolve the games. They become more immersive and enjoyable for everyone. So having your graded cards, I mean, it's kind of like a stock. You can go up and down in value. You might decide to sell it on a peak, or you might hold it, it might drop, it might take a while to come back up. Who knows? Either way, I think it's safe to say that it is better to have your cards graded, especially your high value cards, to keep in your collection. And that's what I want to do personally. I want to have a collection of graded cards. I don't currently have any, and so I'm looking to start and get started, and I have a pretty decent stack here of cards that I plan to send off. It's going to cost quite a bit of money, but these all have some relative value, at least on the market right now, that it would make it worth it. Now, could I get these graded and then everything crashes? Of course. I mean, of course that can happen. There's a lot of people sending cards into PSA and all the other grading services. So you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the population is definitely increasing with these, which decreases the value. But it is ultimately a supply and demand situation. So you really don't know what's going to happen. But at the very baseline, I know that I want to have graded cards in my possession. It could be something I hold on to pass down to my kids. I don't really have an immediate plan for them. I don't have an immediate plan to sell anything. So I am going to send these in and get them processed at the lowest rate. It might take 6 to 8 months to come back. Who knows? But I plan to keep these in my collection. So just to answer the basic question, if anyone's wondering, grading is simply sending your card in. It gets evaluated by, quote unquote professional companies. And they therefore give the card a grade. For PSA, it's 1 to 10. And it's based on multiple factors, including the edges, the centering, the overall condition. Do you have any damage to the card, print errors, stuff like that. I'm not going to go heavily in depth on any of these particular details today. This is going to be relatively shorter and less informative, but it gives you a general idea, and you guys can ask me questions and I can expand on them in later videos. Now, there are multiple grading companies, and I would say the 3 biggest ones right now would be PSA, CGC, and Beckett. Right now, PSA is on a huge backup, and it's taking a really long time to get cards back. Beckett is also on a pretty big backup, but they recently spiked their prices to kind of combat that. So Beckett is definitely a lot more expensive right now. in terms of value, PSA, the name in general, has more value right now in general. But if you get a Beckett 10, which is like pristine, and also the subgrades can count quite a bit for some people, it can definitely bounce back and forth between having a PSA 10 or a BGS 10. So, but those are the two bigger companies, PSA and BGS. Now, CGC is trying to come up and compete with those. They are, I believe, grading quite a bit faster right now, but they do go for lower value on the open market. So a CGC 10, which some people say is more difficult than a PSA 10, still goes for less than the PSA because it is, a newer company. And there's definitely been some things out there that are a bit concerning, such as people saying that it's easy to open some of their cases and then therefore switch out the card and then essentially reseal it. So I haven't looked into that more recently. I would definitely say don't take what I'm saying, too seriously. You can look into it yourself. But do I think they might build up and become a big competitor? Yes. I mean, I think that's entirely possible. But right now, I am more focused on sending my cards to PSA. Their history is great and the value is there. I'm definitely going to have to wait longer, but that's fine. I'm just looking to keep these in my collection. Now, the other question is, how do you submit these things? Well, there are a lot of what they call middlemen, which they have big accounts with these different grading companies, so you can get your card graded at a discounted rate. If you send them directly, you're going to pay bigger rates. And also, it can be confusing as to what you need to do to send them in. So, most people recommend using a middleman. There are various companies you can use. I believe here in the United States, we have Graded Gem, and there's definitely a lot of others that I should have wrote down before the video. But the key thing you're looking for there is the reputation, because obviously it leaves things open for scammy things to happen. Your card could be switched out with someone else's card, and you could end up getting the wrong, not necessarily the wrong grade, but you can get someone else's graded at like a 9 when yours got graded at 10, and maybe they got swapped or mixed up somewhere, or maybe it's just something deceptive going on. Who knows? So when you're looking into it, you need to look into the reputation, how they handle things and things like that. For me personally, I am going to be sending my cards to DFW Pokemon. It is a group that has a big Facebook group, and they've been doing this for quite a while. They actually, go through their mail once a week. They do a live stream where they open everything. You can see, what people sent in. And then they prep the stuff and send it off. And they do it on a weekly basis, which I like that because some places, they get everything in and wait for a whole month. The other thing I like about DFW Pokemon is, you pay when your cards come back. A lot of places make you pay ahead of time. And I could be wrong about that. I haven't really dug into most of them, but I believe one or two I looked at, you did have to pay ahead of time. And that's kind of a big factor for me because I was kind of waiting to send these in because it's going to be quite expensive. Then I realized that DFW Pokemon doesn't charge you until after they come back. And I'm like, oh, wow, I need to go ahead and get these sent in. And of course, that was like two and a half months ago. And I should have done this a while back so I can get them in there and they could already be sitting at PSA. But it is what it is. I just kept pushing it back. And here I am right now. Now, you can look up and find pricing online. I'll just go ahead and tell you that for me personally, the rate I'm going with is the $12 per card PSA. I do believe if the card gets a high grade and maybe it's one of those ones that's valued past like $500, there is additional premium because that is used to insure your card in shipping. So in some cases you might get charged a little bit more, and you do have kind of state like the declared value. So just keep all that in mind when you're going through this process. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I am sending into PSA and what some potential values are depending on the grades. All right, so here we go. Again, there's going to be a lot of random stuff in here. This is kind of stuff that I've collected with my kids and opened up on the channel and things like that. I haven't, I did look at the cards before picking the ones I picked, make sure there wasn't any obvious damage and things like that. But ultimately, I don't really know what these are going to come back as. A lot of people end up assuming that they're going to get 10s and things or 9s and things like that. And it just doesn't work like that. It's actually quite hard to get a 10. Even though they say PSA is maybe a little bit easier. But ultimately, I don't know what I'm going to get here. So we're just going to take a quick look here. We're not going to inspect the cards too heavily. But I have the Steelix character card here from Cosmic Eclipse. These are going pretty good for PSA 9s and 10s. And I'll put the values somewhere on the screen. But this one has pretty good centering. And I didn't have any nicks on it. And the edges look pretty good. So we will see what that comes back as. Who knows? Now, what you'll notice on a lot of these is I have these little tabs on here. These tabs are very nice for getting the cards in and out of the cases without having to, bend them and, possibly cause any damage. But what I found out over maybe like past month or two is that PSA doesn't really like these. So I will be taking them off. If I sent them into DFW Pokemon, they would take them off. Also with DFW Pokemon, like some of these cases are harder to find. So they do supply those if you send your cards in top loaders. I think there's probably extra charge on that. So yeah, I will go ahead and take these off and just send them in the semi-rigid cases themselves. That is what you need to submit your cards in, semi-rigid cases. Which of course they're going a lot higher right now because a lot of people are sending cards in. So these things went up in value. And I bought mine probably like 4 months ago. Not sure what they're going for right now. Then I have the Plip Plip, which is a little bit more. I think this is one of the higher value ones of the character cards. So I'm going to go ahead and send that in. Again, centering looks decent. And no major flaws. Maybe a little nick up here in the corner. So we'll see how that goes. Then we got the Mimikyu character card. Again, this one has a little bit more off on the centering, but I don't know how much that'll impact the grade. On the back, also has a nick. So, you know what? This might maybe an 8, 7, 8, who knows? This is more of an experiment for me, so I'm not sitting here trying to send all perfect 10s. So we're gonna, end up being able to look back on this video and kind of see what I maybe missed or should look for, and that will impact what I send in the future. Here we got a Pikachu promo card. Pikachus are always good to get graded. Any of the original starters are always good to get graded. Of course, Charizard, big boy, always good to get graded. And when it comes to some of the secret rares, you may think those are good to get graded, but there's not really a huge market for like those secret rare trainers or secret rare energy cards and things like that. So you definitely got to be careful and definitely look at the values of the cards before you send them in, because you don't want to end up paying for the service to get graded and then your card being worth less than that, which I would say is not happening that often. Here I have the 2 cards from the Ultra Premium collection. These are definitely off center. Definitely don't see 10 potential here at all. And also you got to be careful with those promo cards. They actually get damaged quite a bit in the packaging. One of these was actually sitting underneath the drawers when it was supposed to be in the drawer. So who knows what kind of surface scratches it might have picked up. But like I said, the centering is not great, and there are definitely probably a couple nicks here and there. But again, I'm going to send them in and see what happens. Now, Evolutions is a huge set right now in terms of people getting graded. These could end up crashing. Who knows? But I like the nostalgia factor. I played back when the base set was out. I love the Gyarados. I'm going to go ahead and get that reverse holo graded. Then I got the Holo Mew. Definitely one of the more valuable cards. So I'm going to get that graded. Now, this is one of those that, it's more of a gamble. But this is a rainbow rare, so secret rare. But it's not that popular, But it is the legendary Pokemon from Sun and Moon. So, there could be some people wanting that. Again, it's in pretty good shape. And sometimes a lot of what you see could just be on the sleeve or the plastic. But we're going to see how that goes. That is from, I think, Cosmic Eclipse. Yeah, that was from Cosmic Eclipse. Oh, now we got the big boys. Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates is a great set to get graded. It has a lot of value. Even every time they keep pumping a little bit more out into the market, it's still, is scooped up really quick. And the late trainer boxes sell for like, I think around $170 now. Either way, getting any of these shiny Pokemon is always great. I have a few of the GXs I want to get graded. Then I got a few of the baby Pokemon in a different pile that I might send in a later date. So I got the Reshiram GX here. Centering is, I think, a little off. No, it's actually pretty good. And again, a lot of these specs you see are just on the plastic. The edges are great on here. I don't know. This one's in really good condition. I'm hoping good things there. We got the Ho-Oh GX. Again, this is one of the good ones, one of the higher value ones. A little bit off on the centering there. We'll see how that impacts it. We have the Greninja GX. Very popular one. This one, again, centering slightly off. Who knows? You know, sometimes give you a little leeway. Could depend on who's grading it. I could see this one taking a hit for centering for sure. Full art trainers, those are pretty popular. There's definitely this thing about having the female trainers and having those cards. So this is Copycat. I'm gonna go ahead and get that graded. And this one's in pretty good shape. Good centering, maybe slightly off. Eevee and Eevee Evolutions, also really good ones to have graded. Very popular cards. This is the Sylveon GX Rainbow Rare. Again, those Rainbow Rares are pretty good, except in the cases where it's like a really, you know, not so great or popular Pokemon, such as like the Rainbow Rare Pinsir. You know, you can get that graded, but it's really probably not going to have much value. So Sylveon GX, pretty good shape. Centering maybe slightly off, but looks pretty good to me. We'll see what we get with that. Now, these special cards, these are always good as well. This is not necessarily a secret rare, but it's like one of those special cards from the Shining Legends? Yeah, they confuse me with these names because now we had Shining Legends, then Hidden Face, now we have Shining Face. So this is a Shining Rayquaza. Definitely a pretty popular card. Centering is slightly off. We'll see how that impacts us. It's probably going to have an impact because it definitely is a little heavy on the bottom versus the top. But either way, I'd like to have this one graded. I like the card. It's one of those special cards. Again, another popular Pokemon pair, Mewtwo and Mew. Either Mewtwo and Mew are great alone as well. So I have the tag team here. This is, I think, the promo. Yeah, this is the promo. So again, promo cards are kind of hit and miss in terms of value. But when you got Mewtwo and Mew or Pikachu or Charizard, those are usually pretty good bets. So I wanted to go ahead and get this one graded, and it was in pretty decent shape when I took it out of the tin. And usually you have a hard time getting good condition out of the tins. So good card there. Gyarados, not as popular as the ones we mentioned, but still a very popular Pokemon. This Rainbow Rare Gyarados from Crimson Invasion is a pretty popular card. So it's going to get this one graded. The funny story behind this one is my son had pulled this, and I think he sent me a picture in text message about it. And then he ended up putting it in the book. Well, somehow this got stuck behind another card. So actually, I really kind of forgot about it. Had no clue we had it. And he ended up saying something about it. And then we went looking, and it was stuck behind another card. So again, this one's in pretty good shape. If I remember when I put it in here, I think it might have slight bit of edge wear on it. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, pretty good. Definitely worth taking a chance on. See what we can get on there. Now, this Mewtwo EX. Again, Evolutions is just really popping. The unfortunate piece of that is a lot of people are getting Evolutions graded. So the population is going to be really high. But it brought about that nostalgic feel from base set. So a lot of these cards are going for quite a bit, but this is definitely where it has the most room for a crash, so to speak, and a reduction in value. But either way, my son pulled this for Christmas. I had got him the cheap Jirachi collections from Walmart. He pulled this card and decided he wanted to get it graded. You know, I suggested that he get it graded. And my other son pulled a card we'll get to in a little bit. But again, great condition. We put it straight into the sleeve and into the case. And we'll see how that goes. But that will be his card. So when it comes back graded, you know, that's something for him to hold on to. Then we have the Charizard and Braxton Cosmic Eclipse tag team. Again, very popular card. Now, this is the regular one. They got the full art. They got the, I believe, Rainbow Rare. So, not the best one to have, but at the same time, I mean, Charizard, you just can't go wrong with the value. So, we're going to go ahead and get it graded. Centering, pretty good. This one, I believe, was in pretty good condition. So, we'll see what it comes back as. Now, one I pulled on the channel. Charizard VMAX. This was like one of my first few packs of Darkness Ablaze when I got those double packs. By the way, I think the centering is off on this. No, maybe not. Maybe it's not too bad. Either way, again, Charizard, can't really go wrong with them. Definitely can be a high value. You know, I think it has 10 potential, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, this is what I was talking about, my other son. Again, he got Jirachi GX collection for Christmas as well. And he pulled the Mega Charizard EX full art from Evolutions. This is one of the bigger cards in terms of value. And, you know, I told him about getting it graded. He's going to have patience for it to come back. But if he gets it back, I mean, it could be worth, at that time, still be worth over $300. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, it's definitely in great shape. I believe the centering was perfect. Yeah, you really can't see any issues with the centering. So we'll have to wait and see. And again, that's his card. When it comes back, stays with him. I mean, I'll probably hold on to it for keeping on their cards, but they own those cards. I don't. I will not make any decisions with those cards. They make those decisions with their cards. If he wants to sell it, he can sell it. But, you know, of course, I'll advise him on when to make that decision. But it's ultimately their decision. Now, these last few here, I have 4, I believe that these are all the promo, 4 of the promo Charizards. This one's kind of a difficult decision. You know, I just kind of wanted to see, it was kind of an experiment for me, so I just want to see what happens. So these, I might just turn around and sell a few of them, but I want to see what I can get on them, what kind of grades we can get. Again, from the 10s, the conditions are kind of hit and miss. So these, I think I still have a few more. These were kind of like my best ones, and I just want to see what happens. And I might sell a couple. I think they're below $100 right now, so not insanely worth it, but still better than selling it raw. And you just really can't go wrong with Charizard. Everyone wants Charizard. So I got 4 of those here. We're gonna send those in and see what happens. So overall, let me count the cards. I have 25 cards that I'm sending in. So that is $50 and 250, so $300 worth of grading costs. I believe all these are pretty close to or above $100 value. But again, it's like PSA 9, PSA 10. You know, I'm not going to get all PSA 9s and 10s. There's probably going to be some 7s, some 8s. Some might even surprise me, and maybe I'll learn something in this process. Who knows? But it should still be an increased investment over having the raw cards, which is what I'm looking for. And like I said, I'll probably be keeping these for quite some time. And hopefully it's something I can pass down to my kids, and maybe they can sell in the future and they'll be worth a lot more. Who knows? So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I don't mind expanding on some things, but I didn't want to make a terribly long video. This is already probably too long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did pull out some code cards just to give you guys. I think these might all be hidden fates, but here you go. Got quite a few here. Kind of help you guys out because these didn't have any cards. I wasn't opening any packs, so we didn't have the code cards. And there you go. All you gotta do is pause the video to catch them. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be sending these off this week sometime, and then we'll look at doing a video when they come back in probably 8-9 months. Hopefully PSA, I believe, is trying to hire more people, and maybe things will pick up a little bit as, you know, people get vaccinated and things slowly go back to whatever the new normal is. But either way, it's going to be a waiting game, and it'll be interesting to look back and see how we fared in our submission. So if you haven't already, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, send me a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.